What's going on, guys? Jeff here for Mad Hatter's Reef, and today we're doing a top 10, as you could probably figure out from the title of this video, but this is a very special request video. We're going to be taking a look at the top 10 Miscellaneous. Nailed it. Miscellaneous, for expert reef keepers. This video was very requested upon a customer here at the store, also a subscriber of the channel, and I'm knocking the camera with my hands because I can't talk without my hands. Watch out now. Miscellaneous. So close. Almost had it. Saltwater fish for a expert reef keeper. So let's jump into it. All right. Let's kick things off with number 10. And coming in at the number 10 spot on our top 10 saltwater fish of the Miscellaneous expert level saltwater fish is the Yellowchest twist Wrasse expert level. He is the peacefuls of the temperaments. He is a carnivore like most of your wrasses, if not all your wrasses. Know your wrasses, folks. Reef safe. Grows upwards of 7 inches and requires a minimum tank size of 120 gallons. Now this guy comes with a twist. Get it? Twist. So just because of that corny joke, go ahead and hit that like button. And if you're not subscribed to the Mad Hatter's Reef channel, do so. Anywho, the twist that I was talking about with this fish is there seems to be some misinformation out there on him. It mentions that he's reef safe, but it also mentions that he might go after your feather dusters and your shrimp. So I don't know where we draw the line on reef safe, but I know if he's swimming around with shrimp in his mouth, he's probably not reef safe. Just saying. Anyways, this guy is expert care level, so make sure you're doing your research before purchase. Coming in at number 9 is the Colin Angelfish. Now, not only is this fish expert level, he also comes with a high dollar price tag. Now, it's one thing if you're expert level and you're kind of easy to keep. It's a completely different thing if I got to take out a loan and maybe, just maybe, I'm able to keep you alive. This guy, expert level, he is peaceful in his temperament, omnivore with his diet, is reef safe with caution, but we'll get into that in a little bit more detail. The max size on this guy is 3 inches and requires a minimum tank size of 70 gallons. Now, the 70-gallon tank needs to be kind of geared towards this fish. They like lots of live rock, lots of places to hide in the rock, and they also prefer a dimly lit tank. So at this point, you're kind of like, oh, what am I doing here as far as, corals go? And maybe this guy's going to go ahead and chewy chomp on the corals, so he might not be the best candidate for a reef aquarium, let alone, a dimly lit one. And as far as the coloration goes, it's not like it's a gotta have it type fish, but interesting nonetheless. Coming in at number 8 on our top 10 saltwater fish that are of the unique and expert level only is the Regal Angelfish. Another back-to-back Angelfish. This guy is definitely easier on the wallet in comparison to number 9 and definitely better color in my opinion. I think the coloration of this fish is hard to beat when it comes to saltwater fish, and that as it gets to maturity, and especially the Red Sea variety is absolutely stunning variety of this fish. They are expert level only. They are semi-aggressive in their temperament, omnivores with their diet, are reef safe with caution. I would err on the side of caution. They do get a little bit bigger though. They grow up to about 10 inches and require a minimum tank size of 125 gallons. Coming in at number 7 on our top 10 saltwater fish is the black Leopard wrasse. This is the first wrasse on the list, not the last. They come in at about $74, although prices on fish as of late have been all over the place. Expert level, like we're talking about today. They are of the peaceful temperament, carnivore-based diet like most of your wrasses will be. They are considered reef safe, grow upwards of 4 inches and require a minimum tank size of 90 gallons. Now, little hot tip with this guy, even though he is expert level, he's not going to break the bank on the price point. they do best in groups of 3 or more, which is very interesting, especially when you are talking about wrasses, because typically they don't tolerate each other very well. You're usually one and done when it comes to wrasses. But if you're into this guy and you're looking to stay up to date on the feeding requirements with this fish and aren't worried about, having 3 or 4 of them kicking around, got a lid on that tank, you're good to go. Check them out. The black leopard wrasse. Coming in at number 6 on our top 10 saltwater fish is the yellow multi-banded pipefish. Now, this is probably one of the most interesting and beautiful colored saltwater fish on this list, and they're not going to break the bank either, even with the recent hike in prices with saltwater fish. This guy's coming in at a $60 price tag. The biggest deal about this guy is they need a tank specific setup. They don't do well in reef tanks with a lot of flow. They definitely need those kind of lagoon style tanks, so that's something to consider with this fish. They are expert level, peaceful in their temperament, carnivore in their diet. They are reef safe with caution, even though that we just talked about you kind of need a special tank setup for these guys. They grow upwards of 6.5 inches, require a minimum tank size of 50 gallons, and they need the copepods. So you need to have a steady flow of pods in your tank and culturing them probably on the side to keep up with the high demand for this fish. Check them out, the yellow multi-banded pipefish. Coming in at the number 5 spot, we got the good old garden eel. Now, this is probably one of the very few fish on this list that I plan on keeping at some point in my time in this hobby. This is definitely an interesting fish in its behavior. The biggest thing with this fish is you need to have a deep sand bed for them to be able to burrow into the sand. If you've never seen a colony of garden eels, definitely check it out. I think Inappropriate Reefer has a really good video on these guys in a tank that he went and visited at an aquarium. Definitely check that out. I'll put a link to that in the description below. This guy's expert care level, peaceful in its temperament, carnivore with its diet, is considered reef safe with caution, grows upwards of 1'2" and requires a minimum tank size of 40 gallons. But this fish is definitely a fish that requires a deep sand bed, at least a 6-inch deep sand bed. So keep that in mind when you are keeping or wanting to keep the garden eel. Coming in at number 4 on the top 10 miscellaneous saltwater fish for the expert in your life, the Longhorn cowfish. This fish is expert only because obviously he's on this list. Peaceful in his temperament, omnivore in his diet, is reef safe with caution, grows upwards of 1'8". That's right, folks, 1'8". Now, I know quite often when we see this fish at the aquarium store, they're just little cute things, and they're so cute, and he looked at me. Oh, my God, he looked at me. They get big, so that's something that you need to keep in mind. They need a minimum tank size of 250 gallons. Now, something else that you need to understand about this fish is they are of the poisonous variety. So if they become threatened, they actually will release a toxin into the tank, and they can start killing stuff off with that toxin. So definitely a fish that is to be left to the experts. Don't check them out, the Longhorn cowfish. Coming in at number 3, we got the Sunburst Butterflyfish. Now, this guy is very interesting in its coloration, almost like too bright to look at. I guess that's where they get the sunburst from. Expert only, peaceful temperament, omnivore in their diet, is not, no way, no how, reef safe, grows upwards of 5.5 inches, and requires a minimum tank size of 70 gallons. Now, this is a coral that is just going to straight up eat coral. Did I say coral? I mean, it's a fish that eats coral. You might as well call him coral because that's what he eats. You are what you eat, right? This guy also needs to be fed up to 3 times per day. And generally speaking, when you are talking about hard to keep animals, it's really their eating requirements that make them difficult to keep. And coming in at the number 2 spot on our expert level saltwater fish, a fish that I had a hard time putting on here, but I did it anyways because they are considered expert only, even though that there are a tremendous amount of hobbyists that have had success with this fish. Now, the price tag on this guy has seemed to gone higher and higher and higher as time has gone on, but the Achilles tang is one of my most favorite tangs, and I would love to have one someday. They are expert only, semi-aggressive in their temperament, herbivore in their diet, are considered reef safe, grow upwards of 8.5 inches, and require a minimum tank size of 180 gallons. And coming in at the number 1 spot on our top 10 saltwater fish that are of the miscellaneous expert level, the Moorish Idol. Now, this guy is featured on a little ditty called Saving Nemo, and it is definitely an expert level fish. The reason being is that they don't really do well in captivity, and they also don't do very well shipping either. They are expert level, peaceful in their temperament, omnivore in their diet, reef safe with caution, grow upwards of 7 inches and require a minimum tank size of 125 gallons.